Taking a look at Western Eyre netball now as part of our Friday night sports show. And as always, I'm joined by Reanna Freeman, who's got all the info for us. Welcome, Reanna. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you. It's been a nice, busy week, which we love, and it's good to get stuck into some netball now. So we'll get straight into the round 10 action because there are a couple of good games. So we had a top-of-the-table clash. Let's table that one for a moment and start off with your Hawks because you had a nice win over the Ceduna Blues, who we spoke about the other week. They're winless, but as far as winless teams go, they're pretty competitive. But your Hawks managed to get a really big win over them, 68-35. So how did that one go down?
It's got to be said, Blues were without quite a few players. Both their defenders in Hayley Clayton and Talene Ettridge, who are both really tall, and Taylor Collins, who's sort of been playing a bit of everywhere, but I believe mostly through the centre. So those three huge outs for Blues. So they didn't go in with a full side, and that put Casey Grenfell, who's normally their very tall goal shooter, into goalkeeper. So a very different lineup for Blues coming up against Hawks, who have been, building momentum, finally getting a team on the court and girls at training. So probably they were on the down as we were on the up. So it was probably a bad time for them to meet the Hawks, but a good game for Hawks. Hawks were without Rochelle Wheaton. We've seen Shannon go into goals, and she played really well, and Kobe Freeman came in and played through the mid-court. She's only young. Blues, I think it was the halfway through the second quarter, Casey went down just with a bit of a stinger on her ankle, so shout out to Casey. Hopefully that's healing well for her. But they brought young Tisha on into, I believe it was goal defence, goalkeeper, I can't remember. But this young girl was absolutely outstanding. So just to paint a picture for you, Casey's very tall, and our Hawks goal shooter was very tall, so it was a good height match-up. Tisha, not so tall, but God, this girl can jump and her reach is outstanding. So it took our Hawks girls a little bit to adjust. They sort of underestimated Tisha's ability. I think we counted 9 taps Tisha got, so she'd only be 15. 9 taps she got in one quarter against the Hawks. So shout out to Tisha. I thought she was outstanding for Blues. Hawks happy with a 33 goal win. Shannon Johnson was our best. So a good win for the Hawks, but not to take away from Blues. As I said, they had 3 really key players out when they faced us last weekend.
All right, so well done to the Hawks. And with that win, the Hawks now actually have the best percentage in the comp. So still sitting below Wirrala and Thevenard on the table, but with a superior percentage now. So certainly looking like a challenger to those top 2 teams. Yeah,
I think the whole top 4 is really close. Westie's still sitting at 4th on 5, but playing some really good netball and only just missing out. So I think knowing their coach, that have some good strategic plans coming into the last round of netball. We've all only got 4 games to go, and coming into finals, sort of not showing all your cards and coming out firing. So I think you're right. I think the top 4 is a very good competition.
All right, and in our other game on the weekend, it was Wirrala taking down Thevenard 48-41. So Wirrala good enough to stay on top of the table over second place Thevenard.
Yeah, so when they met at the start of the season, Wirrala came away with a win by 4. So it was obviously first game of the season. I don't think either teams were really that settled and had a full team. Going into this game, Sevi had a couple of girls out. Their coach, Courtney Trowbridge, who normally sits at goal attack, and Nikki Sleep, who's been association best and fairest the last few years, sitting at goalkeeper and sometimes goal defence. That's 2 huge outs for Sevi. So I thought Wirrala would win this one, but I actually thought it would be more than 7 that they won by, being that Wirrala went in with a full side. So I was actually surprised that Wirrala didn't run away with this one, but then I think that just shows what sort of a quality side Sevi have got. They've got 2 really key players, and I think sometimes that just gives an opportunity for other players to step up. So 7 goals, Wirrala would be happy with that. That's putting them comfortable in, 1 game win above Sevi on the ladder. So, a good win for Wirrala, but I did think it may have been a few more goals than 7.
All right, so maybe not quite a finals preview with Thevi not at full strength, but really looking forward to seeing them play again because they are looking like the 2 teams to beat at the moment. But like I said, your Hawks are looking very, very good as well, and certainly the best challenger to both of them. So it's shaping up to be a very exciting finals series in a few weeks. But before we get there, we've got round 11 action to get through and then a few more weeks, of course. But round 11 kicking off, Hawks taking on Thevenard, and this one should be a great game.
It should be, and this is being played at Pidnippy, and something I probably haven't mentioned on the radio is that this is the last season that Hawks will be playing at Pidnippy. We'll be going back just to the one ground in Streaky Bay. So this is our second to last game at Pidnippy that we'll play for the season, and the last game Sevi will ever play there. So there's a couple of girls within the Sevi club that used to be either, Rovers back in the day or Hawks at Pidnippy. So I think they're pretty stoked to have had a game at Pidnippy before we stop playing there. But all that aside, it should be a good game, a good day of netball. Again, Sevi are without Courtney, Nikki and also Cassie this week. So that sees, both their goalies and their defender out in their lineup, which we'll see a bit of a mix-up. I'm not really sure how they'll line up. I know Lindsay's coaching them for this week. That will leave Tracy in goals, but who with, I'm not sure. So not going in at full strength. Hawks are without a couple of players as well. We haven't got Alana, we haven't got Hannah, and we haven't got Summer. So that'll see Kobe come up and play again, and also Tara Jelinek. So both teams not at full strength. Last time we've met, first game of the season, Sevi come away with a win by 2, and the last time we met 9. I think Sevi would go in favourites, being where they are on the ladder and they are in such fantastic form. They more or less only lost to Wirrala last week by 7 with this same team. So although they're not at full strength, they're still a very quality side. They will go in favourites, but hopefully the Hawks girls can take it right to them.
Thevi ahead of the Hawks by 2 wins minus 1 draw, so really 1 win and 1 draw on the table. So really good chance here for the Hawks to make up some of that ground and make a run at the top 2 ahead of finals. And we've got Wirrala taking on the Western United Tigers in our other game. The Tigers fresh off the bye.
That's right. Fresh off the bye, and then they had the week off before, so they've had 2 weeks off, but knowing how committed those girls are, I'm sure they've been hitting the track pretty heavy and making sure they keep their match fitness up. As far as I know, both teams are going in with full sides. Wirrala have come away with the win both times they've played each other. First time by 8 and the last time by 3. So Westies are definitely heading in the right direction and closing the gap every time they play everyone. Wirrala, they're top of the ladder. They're playing some really good netball. This is a side they're really familiar with. As far as, they've got some key players that have played together for a lot of years, whereas Westies are rebuilding. So, Wirrala might get a bit comfortable and Westies might know how to break that, or, Wirrala's strengths might outplay them. But either way, I think this would be a really good game. It's played up at Penong. Brilliant game. Wirrala, I believe, will come out on top, being that they are favourites. But I don't know. I just think maybe Westies might take it right to them and maybe just get over the line.
All right, so 2 exciting games on the agenda this weekend. The Ceduna Blues on the bye, and then they'll have 4 rounds to try and avoid going winless for the season. And we have seen them come close in quite a few games. They've been pretty competitive, so hopefully they can get one on the board at some point. We'll leave it there for this week, Reanna. Thank you very much for checking in and giving us all those updates. Looking forward to chatting again next week. Good luck this weekend.
No worries. Thank you very much for having me.